Hello everyone, and welcome to my Ironman Money Making guide. Today we will be covering several entry methods to make money while also training your stats. This will include how to get there, how each method works, equipment, and of course inventory setup. Before I start, I'm going to reinforce that these are low-level money makers. You won't have access to the best money makers right away, so I thought I'd make a guide to highlight a few options that you have early on before you unlock better methods. On your screen now is the focus of the guide: low level, very quick to unlock methods, advantages, and effective use. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and comment in the description below, it always helps. And if we hit 30 likes, I will be releasing a second part to this guide on low to mid-level money makers sometime in the future. On to the low requirement methods. Generally, these are used for quick starter cash until you unlock the better methods. There is a lot of debate on early level money makers, so use the one that you think is best. I will give my take on each method, how I might use a specific method to gain an early advantage. From there, you can decide which methods are best for you on your early Ironman adventures. Number 7 on the list for low-level Ironman is one-time moneymakers. This includes the Stronghold of Security and low-level questing. The Stronghold of Security gives a fast 10,000 gold on a fresh account, which can be reinvested into runes and supplies for safe spotting high-level monsters to complete certain quests. While some quests use up money and give experience, teleports, and area unlocks, other quests can be used to gain a small amount of gold, which can be reinvested into low-level construction, magic, and crafting grinds. As these are only one-use methods with variable gold per hour, they are not ranked very high on the list. I will, however, briefly explain the two methods, Stronghold of Security, and also give a list of quests before moving on to number 6. The Stronghold of Security is located in the center of Barbarian Village. If you've never been there before, Count Check will offer a one-time teleport directly there. Otherwise, you can walk or use the canoe station twice with 12 woodcutting to reach the village. If you did not bring any food, cooked meat spawns at the bar north of the dungeon entrance. This method also requires you to enable the authenticator on the RuneScape official website to collect the gold. I provided a few maps to guide you through the floors. This will give you 10,000 gold to start your adventure. For questing, I've looked up everything and took note of what gives decent utility and gold rewards. The first list is safer quests. These have no combat and give decent gold rewards. I've also provided a list that can be done at lower combat. Questing is not the best moneymaker, but it can provide decent XP and utility on a low-level account. For the sake of completion, these are the other quests that give gold. They are a little bit more dangerous and have higher requirements. If you don't have the experience, I'd look up a guide before attempting these quests. Sitting at number 6 is Unstrung Longbows, surprisingly. This method requires a minimum of 15 woodcutting and 25 fletching, and will make more or less depending on your stats and equipment. There are a few locations. Any place close to a bank or general store will work. The method is pretty simple. Buy a steel axe from Bob and Lumbridge and a knife from the Lumbridge general store. Cut oak trees behind the general store. Once the tree is cut, use the knife on the logs to make unstrung longbows until the tree regrows. Repeat this until your inventory is full. The general store will buy items for low alchemy price, and we will be using this to our advantage to make some money. You can fletch longbows while walking to the general store. Sell 10 longbows, then hop worlds to reset the sell price. As you can see, the sell price went down after selling a few items, so you don't want to sell more than 10 longbows to each world. I did 3 separate tests, 10 minutes of oak longbows. With a steel axe, you can expect to get around 1.6 thousand golds every 10 minutes for a total of 9,600 gold every hour. Doing the same test for 10 minutes of willow logs, I got 2,250 gold for a total of 13,500 gold every single hour. Using a rune axe instead on willow logs, I got a total of 3,350 gold instead, for a total of 20,000 gold every hour. Here is a summary of the results. The chance to cut a log improves a lot with level, so I did all my tests with lower level equipment to make the results more realistic. Here are the XP rates for each test, and let's move on to the rank 5 method. Number 5 on the list is general stores. I decided to make this a separate method as you can make substantially more money by selling your junk items to the right general store. This includes low-level unstrung bows from fletching, rings from birdhouse runs, unpowered orbs, and lantern lenses from crafting. Selling 10 of each item to the Lumbridge general store, I got 5.2k gold, which is the lowest possible value I could have got. Requiring 50 thieving and 50 agility, selling these same items to Martin in Berthrope, I got 10.1k gold, basically double the value I got from Lumbridge for the same amount of work. I provided a list of general stores and ranked them accordingly from best to worst. This method is great for early to mid-game starter cash, but it gives no experience, so I recommend having multiple item stacks to make it more worth your time. Taking the number 4 spot is stealing silk. This requires 20 thieving and it provides the best experience between level 20 to 25 thieving. You can make between 32 to 36,000 gold every hour doing this method. This gold can be useful for a bunch of things, including 20 fletching and construction for increased experience at Wintertodt. It can also be used to build the workshop in your house for birdhouse runs. Onto the method itself, there are 2 silk stalls in total. This guide's going to focus on the one in Arduke since it's closest to the silk merchant, but you can also steal from the one in Kittens, and this will allow you to sell the silk immediately. There are several ways to get to Arduke. Use the closest available option. The best place to stand is on this tile. It avoids most of the guards while giving a nice click box to AFK the method. Once you have a full inventory, use the south bank to deposit your silk, then repeat. Sometimes a Arduke knight will catch you. Trapping the knight in the northern building is your best option. You can also bring 1 cake for food, then run 2 tiles south between the stalls, then run back to your original tile to safe spot the knight. Once you have a full inventory and you're done stealing silk, talk to the silk merchant, then select the third and the second option to sell your silk. This will not work unless it's been at least 30 minutes of in-game time since you last stole silk. I did this method for 10 minutes and in total I got 92 silk. This works out to 5,500 gold for 10 minutes, and for an hour I got 33,100 gold. It's a nice method for starting out, but I wouldn't recommend doing this past 38 thieving, as there are better methods available. Coming up at number 3 is Wintertodt. Requiring only 50 fire making, you can reach these requirements in around 5 hours. This boss offers some solid experience, decent resources, and approximately 20 to 30k gold every hour, making it a good choice for early game Ironman. A few common Wintertodt goals include 99 fire making, 60 wood cutting, and 12 magic logs for desert treasure, or around 100,000 gold coins. There are a bunch of ways to use this gold, and it's largely dependent on your Ironman goals. Some good examples include questing supplies, teleport runes, 40 crafting, runes to train magic, and feathers for barbarian fishing. Now I'm going to explain the Wintertodt method. Tempoross is another decent option. I'll be linking a low-level guide to this boss a few weeks after its release. For inventory, bring the following items and gear. Depending on your HP level, you can use different food, whether it's 99, 26, or 40. I also strongly recommend the following gear and stats. Use the same setup for team games. Highlighted items can be picked up at the entrance when you start the boss. Here are a few tips and facts about Wintertodt, and let's get started. Once you're ready, walk or use a games necklace to teleport to Wintertodt. For team games, you want to be on a Wintertodt world. I pick up 2 revitalization potions and wait for the minigame to begin. You can camp the braziers at the beginning for a free 25 points. Chop a full inventory of broomer roots. You can also use your knife on the logs or place them directly in the brazier. Fletching them will give 25 points instead of 10. Halfway through the run, I will pick up 2 herbs and use them on the unfinished potions to later heal the pyromancer. Whenever you take damage, your character will be interrupted. So I keep my sounds on. When I hear a sound, I know my character has stopped fletching or putting logs in the brazier, and I can quickly restart the animation. There are 2 attacks that do a lot of damage. Move out of the way if you see a snowfall. This also happens to the braziers before they break. When the Wintertodt energy hits around 20%, the braziers will start breaking a lot more and you can get a whole bunch of points. So I cut almost a full inventory around the 30% mark and I fletch them on the way to the brazier. I repair the brazier, heal the pyromancer, then light the brazier, and I get a whole bunch of points. The solo method works a little bit differently. Start by lighting all 4 braziers. I then pick up 8 to 12 herbs, then return to the starting area. You can pick up vials from the crates and make 8 to 12 revitalization potions while you're waiting. Relight both southern braziers and stay in the safe area until Wintertodt energy hits 50%. At 50%, you can exit the safe area, keeping the 2 front braziers lit at all times. Use the extra time to cut broomer roots. Ignore the other 2 braziers, this will save a lot of run energy. Do this until Wintertodt energy is around 20 to 25%. At 20% energy, I will camp 1 brazier only. I start chopping broomer roots and relighting the brazier whenever possible, until Wintertodt energy hits 10%. Once it's at 10%, focus on cutting and fletching logs. I usually only return to the brazier when I have a full inventory or when I can get construction experience from repairing the braziers. Ideally, you end your run a little over 13,000 points, taking approximately 45 minutes. You can kill Wintertodt quickly by keeping both southern braziers lit to finish the run. Comparing the low and high level Wintertodt, the loot and experience will change based on level, but gold should stay around the same. Always use a steel axe or better to improve experience rates and let's move on to the number 2 method. You will be a bit surprised by the ranking of this next method. All the calculations will be at the end. Taking the number 2 spot is raising kittens. For 5 minutes of work, you can get 200 death runes every 3 hours while training and using other moneymakers. Some early uses include bursting, the Iban's Blast spell, and selling your first 200 for cash. This method is useful until mid to high level Slayer when you already have a lot of money on the account. Onto the requirements. There are 2 basic requirements, Gertrude's Cat and Plague City Quest. Completing the Ardug Easy Diary will also double the death runes you receive from 100 to 200. For inventory, bring the following items. 5 fishing is also required to fish Karambwanjis. After the quest, Gertrude will sell you a kitten for 100 coins. Every 24 minutes, your kitten will get hungry, and every 18 minutes, he will ask for attention. Feed your kitten 1 Karambwanji, then stroke your kitten twice. This will extend the attention timer to 25 minutes, making both timers roughly the same. After 3 hours, your kitten will grow into a cat. Use your cat on a citizen in West Ardug to receive 200 death runes. Putting everything together, I tested the buy and sell price of death runes, and these were the results. Assuming 5 minutes of in-game time required to go from kitten to cat, the calculations are below. Death runes have a lot of utility. This method is often undervalued due to the amount of time it takes to accumulate runes. And lastly, the number 1 method is low-level Slayer. The only reason why it's so high on the list is because it can be used for a much longer period of time, providing very good experience. Between every 10th task, Turiel, accessible at any Slayer level, will assign a few interesting monsters. This is a list of monsters. They all have very low defense and very generous drop tables. I might include some safe spots or more details in another guide. The idea here is that you make money while also getting decent Slayer and good combat experience. I did a 1-hour test and these were the results. If I alchemized the rune dagger, I made almost 85k gold in an hour from temple spiders using only a rune scimitar. Having higher stats, being on task, using a dragon scimitar, or having the ability to complete hard clues will increase the gold per hour of this method. Thanks for watching my low-level money making guide. I might make another one of these in the future, or maybe another one on combat. But for now, I hope you guys had a nice day and good luck on your Ironmans.